December 2024. Forbes releases its annual list of highest-paid female athletes, and at the top sits a 20-year-old who just recorded the third highest earning season in women's sports history. $34.4 million in a single year, putting Coco Gauff in exclusive company with only Serena Williams and Naomi Osaka. But here's the paradox. The same week she breaks this barrier, Gauff is advocating for wage equality, saying, "We have to market women's sports better." How can someone earning more than 99.9% of athletes still be fighting for equal pay?
Coco Gauff's earnings represent both triumph and tragedy in women's sports. Yes, $34 million is extraordinary, but it highlights how exceptional you have to be as a female athlete to even approach what male superstars earn routinely. Cristiano Ronaldo made $260 million that same year, nearly 8 times more. Gauff's success actually illuminates the problem rather than solving it.
What's fascinating about Gauff is how she's weaponized her marketability to create change. She's not just earning these massive sums, she's using them as a platform to demand better for all female athletes. Her endorsement portfolio reads like a masterclass in brand building. New Balance, Rolex, Bose, even becoming chief smoothie officer at Naked Juice with equity positions.
Today, we're exploring how one athlete became the face of both unprecedented success and ongoing inequality. Why breaking records isn't enough to break barriers, and how Coco Gauff is rewriting the playbook for athlete activism in the age of social media and global brands. To understand Gauff's historic earnings, we need to trace her journey from teenage prodigy to marketing phenomenon. At 15, she burst onto the scene by defeating Venus Williams at Wimbledon, instantly becoming tennis's most compelling young star. But what happened next was a masterclass in building sustainable commercial success.
Gauff's team made brilliant strategic decisions early. Instead of cashing in quickly with short-term deals, they built long-term partnerships with premium brands. New Balance signed her at 14 and restructured the deal in 2022 to make it one of the richest in women's tennis. That patience created the foundation for her current $25 million in annual endorsements.
The numbers tell an extraordinary story. In 2023, Gauff earned $22.7 million, making her the world's highest-paid female athlete for the first time. By 2024, that figure jumped to $34.4 million, with $25 million coming from endorsements alone. She went from promising teenager to global brand in less than 6 years.
What's remarkable is how Gauff transcended tennis to become a lifestyle brand. Her partnerships aren't just about athletic performance, they're about cultural relevance. Carol's Daughter for natural hair care, partnerships with Meta and Ray-Ban for tech, equity positions in startups. She's building wealth beyond prize money.
But here's where the story gets complex. Despite these record-breaking earnings, Gauff hasn't forgotten the bigger picture. In a candid interview, she addressed the fundamental challenge facing women's sports. The problem is that we have to market women's sports better, market ourselves better.
Gauff's statement reveals sophisticated understanding of the systemic issues. She's not complaining about her own situation, she's acknowledging that individual success doesn't solve structural problems. The fact that only 3 women in history have earned over $30 million in a year proves how narrow the pathway to elite earnings remains.
The contrast is stark when you examine the numbers. Gauff's historic $34.4 million puts her behind dozens of male athletes who earn that routinely. The top 10 male athletes all made over $100 million in 2024. Even in tennis, supposedly the most equal sport, the highest-paid men still significantly out-earned the highest-paid women.
The marketing reality is brutal. Brands still default to male athletes for their biggest partnerships because of viewership patterns and cultural assumptions. Gauff has succeeded by being exceptional, not just good, but transcendent in ways that most female athletes simply can't replicate. Her success is inspirational, but not systematically replicable.
Tennis has historically led the way in gender equity, offering equal prize money at Grand Slams since 2007. But Gauff's advocacy goes beyond tennis. She's explicitly stated, hopefully tennis can be the leader of that and trickle down into other sports as well. She sees herself as a catalyst for broader change.
What's powerful about Gauff's approach is how she's using her financial success as moral authority. She can't be dismissed as someone who's bitter about her own earnings. When you're making $34 million and still fighting for equality, it demonstrates that this isn't about personal grievance, it's about justice.
Gauff's business acumen extends far beyond traditional endorsements. She launched Coco Gauff Enterprises in 2024, taking control of her own brand management. She's negotiated equity positions in startups, secured roles as chief smoothie officer with ownership stakes, and built partnerships that grow with her success.
The equity positions are genius. Instead of just taking endorsement fees, Gauff is building long-term wealth through ownership. If these companies succeed, her returns could dwarf even her current massive earnings. She's thinking like an entrepreneur, not just an athlete, which creates sustainable wealth beyond her playing career.
The 2024 WTA Finals became a symbol of both progress and persistent inequality. Gauff's victory earned her $4.8 million, the largest single payout in women's tennis history. But that record-breaking prize still falls short of what top male golfers earn for a single tournament win.
The WTA Finals payout illustrates the complexity perfectly. Yes, $4.8 million is historic for women's tennis, representing real progress, but it also highlights how far we still have to go. Male athletes earn similar amounts for finishing second in regular tour events, not just winning year-end championships.
Gauff's cultural impact extends far beyond earnings. She's vocal about social justice, racial equality, and mental health. Brands aren't just buying her athletic success, they're investing in her values and her ability to connect with younger, more diverse audiences that traditional sports marketing often struggles to reach.
That cultural relevance is what justifies the massive endorsement figures. Gauff represents authenticity in an age of manufactured personalities. When she speaks about inequality or social issues, audiences believe her because she's living it. Brands pay premium prices for that kind of genuine connection.
The numbers reveal a fascinating paradox about women's sports economics. 9 of the top 15 highest-paid female athletes in 2024 were tennis players, demonstrating tennis's unique position in gender equity. But it also shows how limited opportunities remain outside tennis for elite female athlete earnings.
Tennis dominance in female athlete earnings isn't coincidental. Individual sports with global reach and equal prize structures create better opportunities for women. Team sports, where men's leagues have century-long head starts in popularity and infrastructure, remain heavily skewed toward male athletes in terms of earning potential.
Gauff's advocacy takes on special significance because of her age and earning power. At 20, she's already achieved what most athletes spend entire careers pursuing. Her willingness to use that platform for activism rather than just personal gain sets her apart from many previous sports superstars.
For me, I think the biggest thing is that in most sports in the world, people watch the men's game more than the women's. I think we continue to bring fans. The problem is also that we have to market women's sports better, market ourselves better. If we continue to invest in women's sports, then it will profit almost the same as the men and garner equal pay.
That quote reveals Gauff's sophisticated understanding of sports economics. She's not demanding handouts or complaining about unfairness. She's making a business case. Invest properly in women's sports, and the returns will justify equal compensation. It's capitalism, not charity.
Gauff's argument is increasingly supported by data. Women's sports viewership is growing rapidly, especially among younger demographics that advertisers desperately want to reach. The NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament outdrew the men's final in 2024. Investment is starting to follow attention, and Gauff is positioning herself at the forefront of that shift.
The generational aspect of Gauff's influence cannot be overstated. She's building her brand and advocacy simultaneously, creating a template for young female athletes who see activism and commercial success as complementary rather than conflicting goals.
Previous generations of female athletes often felt they had to choose between being commercially successful and being socially conscious. Gauff has proven you can be both. In fact, authenticity and social awareness have become valuable brand attributes that enhance rather than detract from commercial appeal.
Looking ahead, Gauff's financial trajectory suggests even more records could fall. She's still only 20, with potentially 15+ more years of peak earning potential. If she continues improving on court while building her business empire, the $50 million annual barrier could be within reach.
The key is sustainability. Gauff isn't just earning big now, she's building infrastructure for long-term wealth creation. The equity positions, the business ventures, the carefully curated brand partnerships, all of this positions her for continued earnings well beyond her playing career.
But perhaps Gauff's greatest achievement isn't the money itself. It's how she's using financial success as a platform for systemic change. She represents a new model of athlete activism, economically empowered, strategically positioned, and impossible to dismiss.
That combination of financial success and social consciousness creates unprecedented leverage. When Gauff speaks about gender equity, she's not asking for charity, she's demonstrating the commercial viability of investing in women's sports. That's a much more powerful argument than moral appeals alone.
The ripple effects of Gauff's success are already visible. Younger female athletes are negotiating better deals, brands are increasing their women's sports investments, and the conversation has shifted from whether women's sports can be profitable to how profitable they can become.
Gauff has essentially become a proof of concept for women's sports marketing. Her success gives brands confidence to make bigger bets on female athletes, which creates opportunities for others. Success breeds success, and Gauff is creating a virtuous cycle that benefits the entire ecosystem.
The international dimension of Gauff's appeal also matters. Unlike many American sports figures, tennis gives her global reach. Her advocacy for gender equity resonates across cultures and markets, making her influence truly worldwide rather than regionally limited.
Global reach is crucial for systemic change. Gender inequality in sports isn't just an American problem, it's worldwide. Gauff's platform allows her to influence policies, investments, and attitudes across multiple markets simultaneously, amplifying the impact of her advocacy exponentially.
Critics might argue that focusing on superstar earnings misses the point, that most female athletes still struggle financially. But Gauff's success creates aspirational models and proves commercial viability that benefits all levels of women's sports.
The superstar model works because it changes perceptions and creates investment confidence. When brands see Gauff generating massive returns, they become more willing to invest in women's sports generally. Rising tides lift all boats, and Gauff's success creates more opportunities throughout the ecosystem.
The timing of Gauff's emergence is perfect. Social media allows direct athlete-to-fan connection, streaming platforms create new viewing opportunities, and younger audiences are more interested in authentic personalities than traditional sports hierarchies. She's maximizing these trends brilliantly.
Coco Gauff represents the future of sports. Commercially successful, socially conscious, and strategically sophisticated, her ability to break earning records while simultaneously advocating for equality shows that profit and principle can coexist and even reinforce each other.
Thank you for exploring how one athlete is redefining success in the modern sports economy. This episode was brought to you by Unstruct AI, where we examine the intersection of sports, money, and social change. Coco Gauff's $34.4 million earning year isn't just a personal achievement. It's a statement about what's possible when talent meets opportunity meets strategic thinking. At 20 years old, she's already the third highest earning female athlete in history, but her real impact may be how she's using that success to change the game for everyone else. When she says, "We have to market women's sports better," she's not complaining, she's offering a roadmap. Her endorsement portfolio, equity positions, and business ventures prove that female athletes can be just as commercially valuable as their male counterparts when given proper investment and support. The $200 million gap between her earnings and top male athletes isn't just a statistic, it's a challenge. And if anyone can close that gap while lifting others along the way, it's the young champion who turned her tennis success into a platform for systemic change.